Let's begin. Let's have a look at Draftworx Cloud very quickly. So Cloud's been running now for a year, and we now have about 2,500 practices going strong on Cloud, and it's increasing every single month massively. So we're very thankful for everybody that's been on Cloud and been given good feedback. With that feedback, of course, it drives us to develop more. Same with desktop. It's been a bit of a mixed year or two, of course, because of COVID and things like XBRL and implementing that has taken us kind of off our development roadmap a bit. So we are late in some of these features. Do apologize for that. But now that the core items are done, we're going to be pushing forward with massive speed in the developments that are coming out this year and into early next year. So we did a 0% increase just to thank all of our clients. It seems like we're one of the very few companies that did that. So a big thank you for all of your support through COVID. It's always a pleasure developing for you. So please let us know if there's anything that we're missing or anything that you would like us to improve. As always, you pay us. So please make your voice heard. Let us know how we can make it better for you. Anyway, so we've gotten all the long road development done and out the way. So now we're focusing purely on bringing in features, which I'm the most excited about. And the first feature that we're bringing into Cloud is actually a feature that's been in desktop for a while now, but we are going to be extending it. I'm going to launch a little poll a little bit later, and we're just going to ask you to give some feedback on it. Okay, so what are we doing in Cloud for the Cloud users? Well, let's go and create a new client. So I'm just going to create a new entity, and we're going to follow the brief lines of drafting a set of financial statements quickly in Cloud. So we add our client. We can, of course, go through the client setup, or we go through the working trial balance, and we import a TB from Sync. So this is something that is coming for desktop too, very soon. For the guys that aren't aware, Sync connects to all the major accounting systems. We're about to launch Pastel Partner as well. And this allows us to integrate into both desktop and cloud platforms for Draftworx Cloud, because of course it's sitting in your web browser. It doesn't sit on your desktop anymore. So there are limitations to connectivity. Sync aims to solve that. But what we did, and there's a lot of features coming with Sync, what we did for Draftworx and Sync is we allowed it to connect to all of these platforms, but we also put in this nice little additional layer with automatically link counts on import. So you'll see when we do an import, for every account that we know, because we know it's like a Sage 1 or a 0 or a QBO, we know all of the accounts. So we'll pre-link everything for you. That is also going to be coming down to desktop soon. So if you do take on a new client, you don't have to worry about linking the TB anymore. We're going to do the majority of it for you. There'll always be the one or two. For example, if there's been something that's been added in that was specific to the client and we don't know, we'll leave it for you just to link it yourself. Okay, so there is that protection in. We also bring out all the 0 accounts. You can always remove that with the Remove Empty Accounts button. There's a poll about that too, about how you see us handling that. Okay, and then we can jump into our financial statements. So what we've had in desktop for quite a while now on the Plus financial statements is auto open. When you open up your financial statements, it auto opens your notes, which is a fantastic thing. Okay? That hasn't been in Cloud, much to my dismay. It's such a key feature to me, but that is coming. Okay, so hopefully next week, we should be doing a Cloud update. We will auto open up all of your notes for you. Okay, we're extending the auto open as well. You'll see currently it auto opens this, and it just opens up the note. You still have to select these sub-notes, which is a bit frustrating. So there is an enhancement coming to that too, where we'll auto-open all the sub-notes where there are values that have been assigned. Okay, so the bulk of the automation of your financial statements are now going to be done for you completely automatically. We basically did, I suppose, 70% of a draft just by creating a client, importing from Sync and opening up the financial statements, especially when all these sub-notes have been automated. So that's coming very, very, very soon. So that should speed up the entire engagement process. So looking very forward to that. And then, of course, it is in already with Cloud, with Sync. If you do pass a journal, you can push that journal back to the accounting system that you imported from. Okay, so back to Sage 1, to 0, back to QBO, and very soon back to the desktop accounting system. So back to Pastel and probably back to QuickBooks in eventual time. Okay, and we'll of course expand and expand and expand. So I hope you like that idea. That's right around the corner for Cloud, and then Sync coming very soon for desktop. What I do want to ask, and this is something we're going to be engaging much more with all of our users this year, now that all the big stuff is done in terms of dev. So please excuse quite a lot of surveys that we're going to be sending you. It's just so you can help us drive the direction of the development. Again, you pay us to produce a product for you. We want to ensure that it's done 100%. Okay. If we look at the financial statements as is, the auto opening up the notes is great and it's fine. But we're left with a lot of these unused notes. Okay. And it's a bit of a pro and a con, where it's nice to see what you have. Same with your SOFP. It's nice to see everything that you can link it to. I know, especially when I was a junior in articles, you would kind of look at the financial statements and then you'd go, okay, well, I need the figure to go there, to go to debentures or bonds. What is that link? And then you'd go, well, it was map then. You'd go back and you'd find the link number or the map number in your trial balance and then put it there. So I understand that way, and that's probably why we built it this way. But is there any, I suppose, thought behind hiding everything that's NA? So us taking all of this out of view and the notes here, all of these NA notes. Now, of course, I understand that some of the notes aren't going to be linked to the TV, and it's going to be additional disclosure notes like your event subsequent, your going concern, etc., etc. All the additional notes we would want to maintain and keep out. But if you can just let us know, would you be happy if we hid everything and at least put in a button where you could unhide it? Ooh, very interesting numbers. Oh, that's going to be a close one. That's very interesting. Okay, so a lot of people side with the way I thought about things, and a lot of people side with the way that my partners think about things. That's very interesting. So we currently have a 48 in favor of hiding everything and a 52 in favor of no, you want to see all the possible notes. You're going to have to do a tiebreak of some sort. Okay, democracy rules. I think what we could do, because there is just so much demand for both, is maybe have a universal setting somewhere. When you set up Draftworx, you set it to hide everything that's not applicable, or you set it to show. So then we cater to both. I hope that sounds good. Okay. Thank you so much for that feedback. That was fantastic. Okay. So I'll take it back to Dev and we'll look at a universal setting of some kind. I see it from both points of view. I like it to be less cluttered, but I also like to see all the options. So maybe if we just have a little option. Cool. Okay, happy. Thank you so much. I'm going to end the poll there. The final result was 48% hide everything, and then no want to see all the possible as. Okay, well, just went to 53. Okay, so it's split. We'll put in a setting. So I hope that makes either side very happy because you're both getting what you want. So that's exactly what we want to achieve. Share results. Okay, so 47 yes, hide everything NA, 53 was the final. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, what else on cloud? There's a few little features that are coming in cloud, which I'm actually going to show you in desktop. They're going to be things like attach PDF file to sheets. Okay, we'll get into the workings in desktop. But just to explain it, everybody's doing a lot of compilations now, and a lot of people do compilations for audits. The problem is that a client will send you their audit report. Okay, well, client being the auditor would send you their audit report, and now you're stuck with a PDF set from us and a PDF, a few sheets from the auditor. And now you either have to use Adobe or you have to use some online system and you have to join it, and then there's page numbers and there's all this frustration. We've taken care of that now. If you are doing externals and you do need to have an internal, have an external audit report come in to be part of your financials, you will be able to link it in and you will be able to replace, say, the default audit report when you print preview in Draftworx with the PDF from the auditors. And you'll also be able to prepend or insert a PDF and allocate that PDF wherever you need in the financial statements. But we'll touch on the operations in desktop. Okay, so that's something that's very cool with that. Now let's switch over to desktop. And we're going to chat a few little things. We had great demand to move the COVID impact stuff, so you don't see the COVID when you log in anymore. It's going to sit in this button, just so everybody knows. We've also had a lot of demand for a schools template. So the schools template is getting ready to go out. There's one or two little changes that we're just making just to make it look a little bit good, but schools is ready to go out. But the big thing, of course, is next week Poppy comes into effect. So just to let you know, we have gone and we have altered the engagement letters. Thank you for the assistance. I think those who assisted us are attending. You know who you are. Thank you so much for that. And you'll see right at the end is just a little Poppy message there. Okay, so it just covers you. So that's being added to all of the engagement letters. So when you pop that through to the workbook and you insert your letterhead, that will of course come through acknowledgement and agreed on behalf of the directors. Now, something also to mention, please, we do have digital signatures. I'll go into that in the second half of the session. If you need to send your financial statements for signature or your audit engagement letters for signature, the old way doesn't really suit anymore, especially under wave 3 for those that are joining us from South Africa. I'm not sure of all the waves over the rest of the world. I see we've got tons of people joining from all over the world today, but currently South Africa is in the third wave, and it's looking quite bad. So you don't want to have direct contact with as many people as you want, but you can still send your financials for signature. You can still send your audit engagement letters, etc., compilation review letters for engagement, and have a digital signature attached. Okay, so all of that can be done. We'll touch on that a little bit later. Okay, what I do want to run through quickly is we want to look at the schools template, and I just want to touch on a few little things that when I open up these financial statements, a few little things look a bit different. Okay. We've cleaned up the menu. We've included the tick marks and the sign-offs, etc., into one menu. It's just so much easier. Sorry that took so long. When you really start to assess software from a critical level, even more in depth, like we are doing now, saying where can we make everything better and smoother now that we've got the bulk of all the core changes out, all of this stuff comes to face. So that's a nice little improvement, just the actual menu structure. Also, you would have noticed when I opened up the schools template or the set of financial statements, the comments look a little bit different. We're going to touch on that with the new electronic review system very shortly, but I just wanted to show you that this is coming out very, very, very soon. Okay, so very happy about that. Let's print preview. Now, I did stop at the notes for the PP&E for a reason. There was a lot of demand for us to switch and have the option of the older, lack of a better word, the older horizontal PP&E notes. So that is an option that is now coming in for the IFRS Plus, where you will be able to switch to the older style horizontal layout. Okay, there is reasoning behind why we did it this way, and while we still think it is the better way, simply because the standard kind of requires really 3 years of PP&E instead of just the 2. And also there are now so many different types of transactions that can occur. The older style, as soon as you have more than 2 types of movements for the year, you're a bit buggered. It starts to look very ugly. But that option is becoming available soon in all the Plus templates. And it's pretty cool. Under template design, you will have, where is it here? Your details update. And the details update will allow you to do your PP&E switch, your intangible assets biological, and even your deferred tax note switch, if you want to switch it more to the horizontal instead of the vertical, as we've done it in the Plus templates. Okay, so it took us a ton of time to do that, but we're very happy it's done, and we hope you enjoy that for the guys that prefer the horizontal note switch. Okay, for those of you that are seeing this screen for the first time and you go, what is details update? If you ever run out of links, you'll see it's in your working trial balance as well. For example, you're doing an entity and all of a sudden it's got 10 mortgage bonds and you need it to extend from the 5 to 10. You don't have to add it in yourself manually. You quickly come to Template Tools, Details Update, and you can simply click on what you want to extend. Okay, and we've done it for a range of pretty much all of them. If you need more than 75 installment agreements, I hope not, but then please jump on support and ask us to help you with that. So that will be able to assist. Okay, so that's very, very cool little feature, and there is an undo as well. So let's pop that out and let's pop that out. Okay, so let's get into a few of the things that we've done for print preview. Okay. A lot of these items we'll actually see coming in to as well. Quite a few of them are in already. I think with the next update we'll be finalizing pretty much all the options. Okay, so what have we added in print preview? Well, we've actually added in quite a lot over the last few months. And this is really just to bring attention to what we've added and also, of course, what's coming. What we have added is a lot of people love the horizontal lines, and we've had requests for years to bring out a template to do horizontal lines. It's just not feasible for what we charge and to maintain 2 different templates with horizontal lines. So we did all the background dev with it. So now you can just click extend horizontal lines on your print preview, and you now have horizontal lines. Okay, so you can change the look and the feel of your financial statements like that. And it does it across everything. Okay. Just for those that are wondering, how can I change the look and feel of the horizontal lines? We take the styling of the lines that are sitting underneath, for example, your total line items, and we extend these across the board. Okay, so that's a nice little item. This is coming to cloud. It's not in cloud yet, but it will be available in an update soon. Okay, so extend horizontal lines, I love. I'm not a fan of it personally, but for those that are, it's now in. I've seen plenty of people doing it manually, which is really upsetting to see guys have to spend more time on their financial statements when we can just do something automatic for you. So as always, let us know what we can build for you and we'll build it. Okay. Something that we've added in additionally as well is cover image, also coming to cloud very soon. The ability to either on an A4 image, or if you have, for example, a little icon, you can import your client's company logo, whatever it may be, and you can set the positioning. And if it is, say, an A4 image, or if you want to blow it up, you can set it full screen. Otherwise, that looks, but top left, and you can then adjust all the margins. So change it as you want, which is also quite a nice little cool thing. And this will stay with your client. So when you roll forward and roll forward and roll forward, everything will stay. So it will be done for you automatically. So I like this a lot. Horrible English, but I really like it a lot. Okay, I love it. We used to do it in letterheads. So you would then apply an A4 image to the cover. It wasn't really right, because you'd have to then do it every single time for a company, because there's only so many letterheads that you can load, which is frustrating. So this just makes life a little bit easier, that we have a dedicated area where you can then adjust all the margins and all the layouts automatically, so you fit it in. Okay, so very happy with that. This is a very overdue feature. Sorry it took so long. We're very happy that it is finally in. With us, it is always kind of compliance first. So XBRL took a lot of time out, because we knew that XBRL is going to be a massive thing in the future. When eventually reviews and compilations are mandatory, you're going to be sorted. It'll take you 5 minutes for all of those of you that haven't done XBRL. Okay, we redid everything to support where the world is going with this. Okay, so we've got you covered. Moving on, letterheads. Letterheads, I think everybody knows, so I'm not going to touch on that too much, but a few other little things that we see often just on remote support. By default, Draftworx desktop has the numbers in the margin, which is nice. You can identify where everything is. But for those that prefer to prepend, that option is there. Okay, so you can prepend the note number in. It's probably better if I switch off the horizontal lines. Okay, so you can prepend the note number in, and you can pop it in there. That's something that a lot of people don't know. That came out earlier this year. Same with the extend horizontal lines. You guys just don't know about it. This is in cloud. It's actually set as a default on cloud. It's still set as the original Draftworx setting in desktop. Okay. Then year headers. Everybody should know this, but I'll just cover it because I need to go to the inserts, which is in the next tab. If you have an area in your financial statements which is just text, and that's generally have large accounting policies, you've included accounting policies within your notes, and you have a few pages of just text, often you'll sit with a financial year header, 2021 or 2020 at the top. Okay. Sure, it is annoying. Well, I'm very OCD when it comes to alignments and looks and feels. Can ask everybody that works with me. I drive them nuts, but I would love a little button that will just remove it if it is not applicable. Okay, so we do that for you automatically. If the PP&E note does go landscape, because then we know it is one of the notes that can go landscape and A year header is not applicable, but it is also just there if you need to do it for anything that you come across. Okay. I'm pretty sure I saw a question about accounting policies included in notes. There is an option to combine your accounting policies in your notes. Okay. So you can combine with notes, and the accounting policies fall into your actual note. So you'll have property, plant, and equipment, your accounting policy, your note. Inventories, your accounting policy, your note. We showed that to Psycha about 4 or 5 years ago. We saw it as a massive international trend, and they loved it. So they adopted it in Draftworx on their financial statements. So Psycha does it, then of course it's all right, and everybody else wants to do it. And majority of our corporates have all followed. There's very few corporates where I see that they aren't, but it's mostly the listed guys. The small FRS SME guys aren't really worried. It's more the full FRS. But it's a very nice option if you want to spoil your client. There is something there that just makes the financial statements look so different and so sexy. And it's weird to call financial sexy, but I'll show you a little bit later. Okay, after the break, we'll have a look at that if anybody would like. Okay, so let's jump back into my print preview. Under print preview, this is what I was talking about earlier in cloud, where we have it also now out in cloud, but it is also now coming at the end of this month with Draftworx Desktop, is you have the ability to insert documents. And that means any document, and it's not just limited to the audit report. So, sorry, my heading that I set in the webinar may have been not the best because I said it's audit report, but you can replace anything. So if there's a director's report that the directors have done, so sometimes they do very pretty ones, and you want to replace our generic default with what they've done, you can do that. Or it was more purposeful, built for audit, but you can do it with anything. Okay, so let's go and let's hit on audit report. And when I click this little ellipsis button, it will list all of the PDFs that are sitting in your client file. Okay, so if it is an external document, please just go to Office Tools and you'll have to import it. Okay, with cloud, you'll have to upload it. So you can import file, open it in PDF viewer, and then save as. Just save it, pop it under your working papers or in your documents, wherever, and then you'll have access to that. Okay. Why we want it included with the file is because when that file moves from server to local to WebSync, then that audit report is going to move with it. If it's linked as an external file, it's not going to do it very well. Okay, so that's why I bring it into Draftworx, and then you can link it and say, I want to select that, and then choose the action. Do you want to prepend, replace, or append? Okay, I think that's fantastic. So let's replace, and we're now going to see my really badly and quickly formed mock audit report. And this is just a PDF that has been inserted. Okay, so that's very cool. You can then also choose to apply the footer. Okay. Which is going to pop in the number and the footer line, which just completes it, of course, if the page numbers are not on already. And if there are page numbers, either tell you the sensor to send you without the page numbers or apply page numbers. It's completely up to you. Sometimes the page numbers just look yucky with the ones that they sent you. And then we'll automatically update the index depending on what is needed. Okay, depending how long that document is. So everything is automatic, and that's very cool. Okay, if you want to insert anything else, replace anything else, exact same concept. If you want to pop something under the detailed IS, you can pop it as append, and we'll add it back. So all of that is covered with the insert. Okay, so very happy with that. That's also something that we've been wanting to do for a long time, and we've finally been able to get to after all the other stuff has been cleared out. Okay. Oh, nice little one. random little feature that we actually popped in is not going to apply to many people, but you'll notice when we are working with our engine, there's a blank row. Even if you go and you minimize that row, we'll still read it as a blank row and we apply a certain height just to get all of the spacing consistent. Because unfortunately, you can sometimes have a little finger fault or hand fault, and you unfortunately move it like this. And then guys go and they print preview and everything looks very ugly and inconsistent. And instead of you having to now go and sort it out or go to develop and sort out the height properly, we just auto correct the heights on print preview, just so everything is consistent. If you want to increase or lower those empty lines, there's an option under here just to change the spacing. So if you want to compress everything, you're more than welcome to. We put that in because there's been enough people coming and asking us for it. They want to reduce the spacing or they want to increase the spacing universally. So that's a random little feature just to throw in there. Okay. Let's see. So, okay, we're done with that. Any questions so far, please just pop it in the Q&A. I'm going to go for 10 more minutes and then we're going to have a quick 5-minute break, or a cup of coffee or a smoke, and then we can jump back into what I'm going to start to show you now. Okay. Actually, let me do PDF annotation first. We'll have a quick break, and then I'm going to jump into the audit team and the new electronic review. Okay. So I'm going to open up that audit report that we had. This is also a feature that's long outstanding. We've been wanting to do it for ages. We just wanted to do it nicely. We didn't have some of the tech to be able to do it to the length that we wanted to, but now it's all been done. PDFs have always been fairly static with us, which I've never enjoyed, but now they're not. Okay, so you can now insert a hyperlink. So if you bring in a bank statement or whatever it is, you can insert your hyperlink, and that is now hyperlinkable. So I just hyperlink this through to a lead schedule. You can also now insert all your tick marks. This is going to be replaced with that, so that's just something that we're clearing. But you can just double click and you can put in all your BTBs. You can change the color, change the font size, change everything that you want to change. But I really love the ability to hyperlink, and you can also change the color as needed. What we put in as an option, we're not sure entirely yet of the use, is to be able to do an electronic signature. So it's not a digital signature. Digital signature you do through DigiSign, but a lot of guys just want to be able to do a simple scan of their signature. You'll be able to link it there and you'll be able to insert it into any PDF. So if you don't want to do digital signatures, but you do want to do electronic signatures, for example, in your financials, PDF save, and you can open them up and you can now place an electronic signature. Okay. We put in 2 by default. Let us know if you think you need more. But that's a nice little item, and you can sign off whatever you need to sign off just with an electronic signature. Okay. Very happy that's finally in, and PDFs are no longer static. Okay. Cool. So we're going to take a break in 3 minutes. Please, any questions that you have, any ideas that you have, start posting them so I can just go through them in the break and then we can address. Because what we're going to touch on next is the new electronic review system. If you have used cloud, very similar. So we implemented the new system in cloud first, and then we brought it back to desktop. So we're starting with the entire proper alignment of the 2 packages. Okay. So you'll see over the next few months, they're going to become very indistinguishable from each other in terms of features. So we're very happy about that. It's been quite a long-term project that we're now seeing the fruits pay off. And there's going to be a few other little nice features that we are bringing through to both. And then we're going to chat about WebSync 2, because we still get a lot of guys querying how that can work better. They want to keep desktop. So desktop offers the benefit of being unlimited entities for a set fee, and cloud is charged per entity, but unlimited users for those that aren't aware of the pricing differences. This makes life very easy if you are working in an office environment, but you're working from home or you're working all over the place, okay? Especially when it comes to infrastructure. But we're going to have a little quick 5-minute break, and then we'll clear that. I've seen a lot of questions come through. Thank you so much. The one I've just spotted now, why do I have some options that you don't? It's because this is about to be released. So a lot of these options we haven't released as yet. They are coming very soon, and by very soon in the next week or so. Okay, so we're just finalizing testing and getting ready to deploy. So it will be a little bit different to what you see now, okay? But this is what you'll see in a week's time. There's been quite a lot of questions that have come through. I'm going to go through them as much as possible, just while I talk about a few other little things such as WebSync and the new electronic review, and see if there's anything that we need to bring up in session. Otherwise, I will just chat and leave that for the end. Okay, cool. So as always, please, if you need any help, desktop, hit remote support. For cloud, hit the help button, log a support request, and you still have the option of having the remote support such as desktop has. You just have to download the TeamViewer component. Don't download it every single time, just download it and place it on your desktop. Okay, call it Draftworx remote support. So when you need to chat with us, you can just run that and you can chat to us in real time. Otherwise, if it's not something that's massively urgent, just please pop in the support ticket. This gives us limited time access to your file. We can jump in and we can do all the necessary items that you've requested. Okay, just the items that we need help with, or just give you a second set of eyes. So that is, please, a big thing. We use support so much. It's really a part of our value added. Sorry, let me just get to our value added service is included in the pricing, so please use it. Don't get stuck. We don't sell time, you do. So it's very important for us to ensure that we maximize your time. I see there's been a few questions on having full accounts production, meaning, building an accounting system. We'll see. Okay. We need to get through a few other major features first, and then that's something that we can always look at, but it will never be the likes of a Sage Passive Partner or a Sage one. It'll only be for small entities, which we kind of already do with the cash book. So it's not something that we're actively looking at, but let us know if you want it. Okay, perfect. So let's get back to chatting about WebSync. So WebSync gives you the benefits of an online system in terms of sharing. So if we look at cloud is fantastic in the way that you have unlimited users. So you create an entity, it charges you for that entity. So $50 for a sole prop or 200 Rand for company, but you can go through and you can manage users and you can add and add and add and add users into your profile. And they can jump in and they can work on anything that needs to be worked on at no additional charge because you've already paid that charge. That's awesome. With desktop, as we mentioned, a little bit of a different licensing around desktop, but we still want you to have that ability to jump in and work on a file wherever you are in the world. And we see time and time again that a lot of firms implement a VPN and they have their server infrastructure, but it's not their speciality. So that VPN is generally slow. It's not the best server items behind the scenes, and it takes a minute or two to open up a file, or 3 or 5 or 10 in some case, which I've seen. And the guys decide to not open it up on the server directly through the VPN. They then do a transfer, but then they wait half an hour for that file to transfer over the VPN. Okay, it's it must be horrible. Okay, so that's where WebSync comes in. WebSync allows you to go and access your files wherever you are in the world, but just with your desktop application. So you get kind of the benefit of both worlds. I'll say kind of, because you can still work offline and you can still go out to an audit and you can still delegate out and can work completely offline. But the world is going to a little bit more of a connected kind of world. And I say that with a bit of hesitation, because a few years ago, we used to say, just get a 3G stick and pop it in your computer and you'll have WebSync wherever you go until the load shedding hit the cell phone towers. For those that aren't in South Africa, don't worry about it. It's a long story. If you have internet connectivity all the time, cloud's phenomenal. Even WebSync, then it's phenomenal. So the benefit of both is being able to work offline, being able to do unlimited entities for a set license fee. You don't have to worry about budgeting or have to worry about costs going forward. But WebSync gives the ability to work off a central location without having to invest in infrastructure or VPNs on your side. Okay. So WebSync, for all intents and purposes, is a cloud store for your Draftworx files. It sits on our infrastructure that we manage. Okay. And what it enables you to do, it enables you at any point in time to go and to jump into a file. And this is me. Okay, I'm working on a decent piece here, and I am on fiber. So fiber is a prerequisite if you want these speeds. This is me accessing a client file that's sitting on WebSync in real time. Okay, this is directly off of the internet. So by design, way in the beginning, we knew what was coming with cloud, and we designed Draftworx to be extremely light overheads. That's why if you look at it like a compilation file, a compilation is 5 megs. You can still compress and email that file. I mean, you can even email it without compressing it, but you can compress it down even further. So there's very minimal data transfer, even when you're working with WebSync. And we've improved WebSync over the years in terms of speed. Like this is blisteringly fast. If I go and I put it next to opening it on my local PC, you're not going to notice that much of a difference. It's not like you have to wait an extra 20 seconds. It's more like 2, 3, 4 seconds, just because of having a decent line, fiber line, and having the tech behind WebSync and Draftworx. So this, again, just to reiterate, is me working off of our cloud servers, okay, on my desktop. When I do a change in my working trial balance, and I decide to change this link, for example, this changes it directly on the server, okay? That changes directly on the server. Somebody else jumps into the file at the same time, they will see this change that I've done, okay? Or every 30 seconds, they'll be refreshed on their side. Now, I'm sure that the question is, what happens with the financial statements that are opened? That's kind of where we go. It's some of the benefits of cloud. With cloud, multiple people can open up the financials at the same time and work together fairly well. There's some proper functionality coming around that for cloud called Collab, where you'll see your colleague working in the file at the same time. That may eventually come down to desktop. But in the meantime, If somebody else jumps into the file and wants to work on the financial statements, when they try and open it, they will get a message that Earl is working in the financial statements. And they'll only be able to access them when I've closed the financials. So watch that saving. As quickly as that, it sends everything back to the server. Okay. So super quick, super easy. So that change I just did, anybody else logs in, they'll see any of the changes that I've done in the financial statements. Okay. So something that's really cool. This works very well, of course, with the likes of audit and all the nice little functionality I'm going to show you now. Okay. So what does WebSync cost? Currently, it costs nothing. So we gave cloud away for several more months. And then last year, we implemented a zero charge on WebSync for all of our clients. So we are absorbing the cost of WebSync. Just like we absorbed the 0% price increase this year, just to help, because we know investing now and helping our clients now will be fruitful for later. So WebSync, you can request an account to be set up for you. You can simply email sales@draftworx.com or email me and I'll forward you on to the right places. And it's zero cost currently, okay? It probably won't be any charge for it for the rest of the year. I don't foresee us charging for the rest of the year. We might bring in the charges next year again, okay? And what are the costs? It's 50 Rand a gig, okay? So that's what we anticipate next year going to be, 50 Rand for a gig. And knowing again our file sizes being around the 5-6 megs for a compilation, it's tiny. You can fit a ton in there. If you then go and you look at audits are bigger, but of course there's hopefully more profit and more money in audit. And there's also more benefits having that audit located on the cloud, so everybody can jump in at the same time. If you're on site, a manager can jump in and look at the work that you're doing. A partner can jump in and look at the work you're doing and review it on the go. Okay, so that's something that's very, very, very cool. We've tried to highlight it so many times during COVID. A lot of guys just don't see it or just miss out mailers. So I just wanted to make it a point, especially now with the continuation of COVID. Give us a shout. We'll make your life so much easier. If you love what desktop has and you still want to go sort of a cloud approach, WebSync is perfect. Of course, unless you want all the great features that come with cloud, then cloud is the way to go. At least we give you both. And it is a hybrid. So for those working on desktop, if you want to upload your files to cloud and carry on working on cloud, you can. Please note the T's and C's apply. And a little bit later on in the year, we'll be bringing the download from cloud in as well. So you can choose now to start off on cloud if you've got a brand new practice. And later on, you're now doing so many files and you're very cost conscious and you go, okay, if I move all of it down to desktop, I'll be saving some money, and you're happy to go down to a desktop solution, then you'll be able to download all your files and continue. So you're not locked in, which is something very cool. Okay, so now that I've done a complete blurb about WebSync, let's look at what's coming with the new electronic review. So the new electronic review, for those of you that have used cloud, very similar-ish. Let's jump into cloud one over here. You would have seen that we remodeled and cloud electronic review looks suitably different to desktop. And we've done the same with desktop. So you would have noticed immediately when I've jumped into my webinar school, there are some review notes here. You'll notice the review notes look a little bit different. You can now collapse them to make them disappear. Or if you want more information, you can click on the little eye and then your review is going to pop up. Okay. So if I want to see details, click on, or anything that's open. So any notes that are still left to do, I can click on the open note and that will pop up with all the details around it. And you can work in this. Instead of historically, you'd have to go back to your electronic review and commend or, type an address response and it was cluttered and it was ugly, you don't have to even come back to the electronic review. You can do it on the face of wherever you're working, okay? So electronic review is still there. It's still a nice overview. You can still go in and you can still check everything, but you can now answer mostly on the go. So just before we get into the actual electronic review in detail, what prefaces the electronic review is something called audit team setup, or nowadays we've just renamed it to be team setup. This was something that wasn't used in the past. It simply had the name. So when you did a note to somebody, it would pop up to them. Okay, and you could filter out all the notes to you. It wasn't the nicest system, but it was functional. So what we've added now is the ability for notifications too. Okay, it's horrendous if you're adding notes and you then have to tell somebody to go and review that note. Okay, so you can now load everybody that's in your team, and this will improve where it will be centrally hosted. I'll chat about a new app that's coming hopefully by the end of the year, global settings and team settings. We'll get into that now. You can add in all the team members that are working on this file, and you can indicate who needs to be notified when something's prepared, reviewed, or partner reviewed, and also notes notification. And what is a notes notification? We'll get into a little bit later, but you can get notifications on every single step of the file, whether you're a trainee or a partner, what's happening and what you need to attend on automatically. Okay, it's an email notification that is going to, I don't want to say change, but there's going to be a new option coming a little bit later where it will be a web notification. But for now, I think it suits perfectly. By the end of the year, there'll be a nice little new system. So what does this mean? What does the team setup now enable me to do? When I add a new note, I can go payroll, please, whatever, and address it. Gerald. We probably wouldn't do payroll, but you know what I mean. Okay. Then I'll pop it in. The note will be there. The note will go through to my electronic review. What then happens is in a mail, I'll get a notification because it's been set up that any notes for me need to come through to my inbox. So I'm just going to share a few of the examples of some, there we go, notes assigned to you. Going to him and may concern, please note that the following client, okay, who the client was, the financial year, who did it, and the actual note. This is going to be cleaned up a little bit more. But now I know I need to go and jump into Webinar School, and I can go either directly into the file, into the electronic review, and then jump into the file with a quick jump and be able to go and address the note. So over here, again, I can either click on the little I, and that will open up all the options, or I can choose to show all the notes. Okay. And we see in this little pop-up that there's been 3 notes in this working paper. Note, the actual description, who's been assigned to, and you can reassign. So if all of a sudden Ariel's, it's not for me, it's actually for Armand, you can give an option to reassign. Now Armand is going to get an email to say, hey, this note has been assigned to you, and he'll need to go and address it. Okay, so you can change who it's assigned to. What you then have, which was the biggest drawback of the old electronic review, again, this is a feature that we wanted to implement for ages. We're finally getting around to it since some of the core updates have been done, is the ability to have a running commentary on the actual note. Okay, so previously you had to re-raise the note, which was hell of a frustrating, but now if a note has been assigned to me, I can see, okay, there's a note has been assigned to me, and I can go, updated the whatever it is. Okay. Comment. If I've been set up as a partner or a manager that wants to receive the notification when a comment has been made, I'll get an email saying Rill has commented. Okay. I can jump in, I can go have a little look-see. What I can also do is I can set it as actioned. So when I've commented that I've done it, I can action that I've set the event and that I've cleared the note. Just as a trainee or as a manager, partner or the manager will then come in, have a look at what you've done, go, yes, okay, no, very happy with that, fantastic. And they can then, let me just move it a little bit on so it's not out the screen. They can then choose to close the note. Okay. So this will follow the entire life cycle of a note that's been raised. If at any point in time, say for instance, it was actioned and I'm the manager or the partner, I can come here and I can go, oh, but it wasn't actioned properly. You didn't do X, Y, Z. Okay. And I can make a comment. Trainee can then be notified. If you've set it up that way, they can come in and they can review. Again, I can set it as opened. So trainee will come in, go, okay, cool, actioned, review it. And you can have this commentary to and fro. Now, of course, the buy would be different. It would be your initials that you've set up. So it'll be between multiple people having a commentary on one item, which makes things much easier instead of re-raising the note. Okay. You can, of course, always just go to electronic review, and electronic review will be here. There's now a nice little progress bar where you can have a quick look to see everything that's outstanding, or you can click on the quick filter, go, I want to see everything with incomplete notes. Okay. So then we'll see everything that hasn't been closed. One open, two closed notes. As soon as I clear this note, then this will be closed. And then, of course, the incomplete notes will disappear, or everything with notes, or notes to buy. So you can really change exactly what you want to see in the file. And it works well in partnership with like the rack methodologies where you have the sectional sign-offs. Really works well. For example, like the risk identification sign-off, it works well together to have those overview levels of the entire file, whether you're doing a sort of a compilation or going to a rack audit. It just makes life a little bit easier. Okay. For those on WebSync, just before I forget, sorry, there is an archive ability coming for everybody that is doing audit and they do want to be able to archive directly on WebSync instead of putting the file down to local and then archiving. So that is something nice that's coming a little bit later. Okay, but I think the electronic review is a lovely little addition. I'm very happy with that. And please, all the feedback when we do launch this, or if you see anything now, let us know what we can do, what we can do to improve. I did mention I'm going to talk about this new global store, this app that we're going to be calling Console coming out. It is mostly for desktop. It will be a way that you can manage everything from a central location. Whether you're a clerk, you'll be able to see notifications, or manager or partner, but it'll also be able to set things like your global print options. So when you run the print preview here, currently how it's completed in a firm is you would have one person setting the settings as they want it and then exporting everything. And then everybody else needs to import to ensure they have the same settings, or you just sit next to each other and you ensure it's the same. It's a bit of a tedious process, we know, and we don't like it. So there is going to be a web-based system coming in. So when you open up Draftworx, there'll be a little login, and that will actually log in, and that will fetch all of your settings from the cloud. And it'll also do a few nice little statistics, what files you're working on, what you have worked on in the past, notes and queries, everything will come web-based. And then there'll be a client portal down the line too. So that's going to be great as well. Okay. So lots of things that are coming. I can't show you all of that stuff yet. It is just in development progress, but we're hoping to have another one of these sessions in a few months' time where I can show off everything that we've shown you, that I've spoken about, and we can get that rolled out in an update for both desktop and for cloud. So I see there's quite a few questions. Lizelle, we do have a cash flow audit working paper. Just ask us for it. It is going to be included by default. We did build one, okay, so to check the cash flows. Something else just might be worthwhile, especially if you haven't used Draftworx, or if you haven't used Draftworx for years and you haven't tried this setting for a bit. For anybody that remembers our drill down, it used to be a bit finicky, especially when you're dealing with multiple references across several sheets or very complex formulas. So we've updated drill down massively, massive. I actually need to go into a file where there's a ton of references. So not only will it just link to the actual link numbers, it will go and it will track to any other cells that have been referenced and what those cells are pulling in from the TV. So drill down has been massively revamped. That's actually been in for a while. We just haven't really announced it, which is sad. We've got so many things that we reworked that we haven't announced. With that is coming a bit of a change. We do want to start to switch to monthly newsletters. I know a lot of people going, oh, newsletters. I hate newsletters as well, but it is beneficial where we'll be highlighting little things like this in desktop and in cloud. So nice little features or improvements we'll highlight in detail instead of it being highlighted twice a year in our webinar. So we are looking at doing that. I suppose I should have run a poll for that. Who's pro that and who's for that and who's against that. It's really just to highlight some new features that are going to make your life easier. And we kind of want to do that just because of interaction we've had with clients. For example, I went to a trading session quite a while ago and I offered, it was a firm of about 40 clerks, I offered, as a joke, $100 for anybody that could tell me what the live button did. I expected to give away the 100 Rand and nobody could because they never ever hit the button. They didn't know what it did, so they were too scared to do it. This is something that we want to start to highlight, or even like the tear-off. So you can float your financial statements or float your TV. We'll click on the wrong thing there, and you can move that around to wherever you need it to be. Where is it? There we go. You can move this around and move it elsewhere, or you can float your working trial balance. Things are tear-offable. You don't have to be stuck with one application. So we want to start highlighting all of the nice little features like that. I suppose it's probably easiest if I showed with working trial balance float. So there you can pop your working trial balance on the second screen. The ribbon is in progress. The ribbons will be on shortly, where you'll now have all of the options instead of just floating it off. But I love to float my working trial balance if I'm helping out any clients. It sits on the side of my screen or my second screen, and then you can just refer back instead of going to and fro between financials and then TV or financials and viewing on the under template tools and bring it in here on the drill view. I just found that that's a bit messy. So please don't forget you can float, which is very cool. Okay. Specifically nice when you float a journal entry, the journal entries, and you pass the journal entry, you set updating your working trial balance, and then on your screen you set updating your financial statements at the same time. A lot of love for that. Okay. So we moved much faster than we thought. I thought it would take about an hour and a half just to cover this. I see there are quite a few requests for some nice features. So we have this all recorded. So if you can just give me a minute, I'm just going to run through the open items and see if there's anything worthwhile for discussion. Okay. Anonymous, you asked if you can also add editable pages at the end where we can be able to put any submission as required by the clients. This can make Draftworx complete. You don't want to do reports separately from Draftworx. Okay. Okay, so you can. If you're talking about in financial statements, under format, you can insert sheets. So you could insert a sheet and you could then move the sheet and you can do whatever you want on the sheet, make it an annexure, whatever you really need. And that will be a part of your financial statements. If you're wanting to import maybe a workbook, this is actually nice. This is a feature that I completely forgot that we've included. If you want to import a workbook or a sheet out of Excel and have that append to your financial statements, under content, you'll see this button will arrive with the update. It's called import worksheets. I can click on that and let's go and let's use my TV as an example. I can choose which sheets I want. Okay, would you like to recreate? Yes. And it will insert the contents of that workbook in my financial statements. Okay, and then you can massage it however you want. So you can very quickly import anything that you need from an external source. If it is Excel, you can use the import worksheets for that. Any sheets or the entire workbook you can bring in and it will pop it just at the end. Now, if there is a replacement for a sheet, for example, we put this in for a lovely client that wanted to have a very advanced tax calc sheet for farming. And they had a specific way that they wanted to do it. And we knew that it wasn't going to appease everybody else if we did that change. So we built this in for them. So they can actually go and import their tax calc and it will fully replace our tax calc sheet. But it will have all the named ranges and all of the formulas in that they've developed that they want. So you can both replace or you can insert. If it's the same name, it will replace. If it's a different name, it will have the option to insert it or append it at the end. Okay. With that said, if it is anything PDF, again, this is something that you will see when we... No. What is that? Sorry, let me grab that. There we go. That's right. Password. When we release this, it currently is actually in, I think, pretty much everyone's Draftworx. We just haven't shown it yet. You'll be able to link in, for example, that audit report, but append it. And then it will go after any of the pages that you've set it for. For example, I imported that audit report. I replaced my audit report, but I also chose to append it after my detailed IS. So here's my detailed IS. Here's my audit report. And of course, there are the hyperlinks and everything that I've inserted. And there's sheet one that I inserted too. We just want to massage it and make it look good. So there's multiple ways to do that. Okay. Nikita, for the cover image, you don't have this yet. It's coming next week. Okay, you'll have cover over here. You'll be able to browse to your client's logo, and then you can place it anywhere you want. So that is there. Okay. This is being recorded. It will go up to YouTube. So if anybody has missed it, we will be able to, you will be able to go and view it on our YouTube channel. Okay. Body corporate working papers, that would fall under audit. Anonymous, if you can just email me. When setting up email notifications, do you receive a separate email for each note? Each note you receive, yes. So when the cloud system comes up, it'll be a bulk notification. Hive tree menu. Okay. Question, are we going to be filtering out the not applicable on the tree menu? Oh, Morris, it's a hard one. Taking out the not applicable stuff, it's exactly like that previous poll where some people are very pro for it and some people are very anti it. We may put that again, maybe in a global option to appease everybody. We show the not applicable for a reason, especially for audit, when we may pull something in, but it may not be applicable. We want to show you that it's not applicable. We also don't want clerks going and setting things not applicable just to hide the work from you when it actually is applicable. We've seen that in the past. I think we temporarily once removed the not applicable, but a week later we put it back just because people were doing that. they were trying to get rid of work, so they just marked the not applicable, so it would hide from the tree menu feed. So that's a bit of an interesting one. But I do like your idea about a filter. You can maybe put a filter somewhere instead of having it show, kind of very much like we've done with the electronic review. We'll document that down as a feature request, and I'll talk to the devs, see if they can do that. Okay. Johan, can we make our own backups on cloud and restore it if we lose a file by mistake? Okay. Draftworx cloud or WebSync cloud? I assume Draftworx cloud. We do all of the backups for you automatically. So we've got a full backup system. There's nothing that you can lose here. So we do interval backups and transaction logs. So you won't lose anything here. We've got the infrastructure in place to ensure that. If you want to make a backup before you make a change, like a big change, then what you can do, it's a bit of a hack. Say you're about to do a big change in the financial statements. You've unlocked the formulas and you want to go in and you want to make some magic. What I would recommend is actually just downloading a backup of the financials itself. So you can back up individual files off of cloud. So go to the file manager, you can jump into financials, and you can choose to download these financials. Okay. And that will download a copy. Do your change. If it's then you can always upload and just replace. Okay. And just add file and just re-upload it. So there is a little option to get around that for the backups, if that is what you're asking. A backup for WebSync, we again do all your backups for you automatically. If you do want to just take a milestone backups, you can always just transfer them to local, and then create a backup file directly off of that, and then you have a backup file off of that too. Okay. So I see there's a lot of questions. So cash flow calc. Cash flow audit, we do have that for you. Okay, not enough columns. We've posted that as a developer request. Is it not enough columns and the links, as I mentioned, maybe here? Just let me know if this is what you're looking for. Under details update. Let's see, deferred. Okay, deferred tax. So we have 5 standard. You can click button to increase it to 10. Okay, maybe this will sort out that. So, okay, and then you can apply and it will go and it will process. You do need a manager pass it because you're going to do big things for it. Okay. Okay. They should all be consistent. I'll chat with you afterwards. Maybe you have a case where you're doing something IFRS SME and then IFRS SME plus. Okay. Cool. So there's also something quite nice. If you are busy working in a file and as a partner, you've now reviewed the file, which one do I want? Okay. And you're happy with, for example, the financial statements, okay, or the entire file. So individual or entire. If, for example, you don't want anyone to access or edit the financial statements, you can put a little lock on there under electronic review. Okay, it's no longer going to be accessible or editable except by partners. Okay, that's a cool thing. Once you've completed a file in totality, what you can do is you can set it as read only. So if I enable, say, ACS as read only, okay, that entire file is now set as read only. To undo that, I need a manager or partner password. Okay, can then go in and you'll see the entire file now is basically set as read only. If I go to the working trial balance, I can't import, I can't change, I can't add new files. I go through to my financial statements. Pretty much the only thing I can do is XBRL or print preview. You can still do nice little things like export out, but everything else has been shut down. You just can't do any changes. So that's pretty cool. Okay, and additional mapping just on, okay, it's set as read only, but on that details update, if you are busy linking your trial balance and you see, for example, you need more columns for deferred tax, or you need more mortgage bonds or installment sales, before you even open up your financial statements, you can click on details update and you can choose now to automatically extend those link numbers. Let me just jump into an existing client file here quickly. Okay, so over here we can choose to details update. Okay, so now I can automatically increase my link numbers. Why we have done it this way, it was one part of trying to reduce complexity, especially when you're dealing with big files and a lot of links. IFRS, for example, I think we have 8,500 links here. So we don't want to go and put in another 100 installment cells just to clog everything up a little bit more. So we are trying to simplify everything just for the guys that just need the basics. But of course, you still have the power if you need to extend it as much as you want. The changes tracker, I'll give you a shout. We can maybe have a meet. I'll discuss what we have in store for that. Okay. Okay, would it be possible to bring in a feature to make proper notes and comments in lead schedules and on working papers that won't refresh whenever the page reloads? Andrea, I hope my electronic review one answered that. Just let me know if you're looking for something different in terms of the notes and queries. Also, for leads, something that is quite interesting. We used to have static lead schedules, meaning it used to just be a report and you couldn't mention anything on it. You know, it would be a report and that was that. We then had a lot of clients that wanted the ability to do their own calculations on a lead schedule, okay, which was an overwhelming request for that. So we actually scrapped our entire lead system and we built in this. So it doesn't look the prettiest, which I don't like, but the functionality is there. So this blue area over here isn't just there because we like blue. It's there that you can even choose to extend. And as long as anything is within this area, if you close and reopen, it all saves here and it will all come back. So you can do, figures, save, and it will all come back. That's a nicety. There we go. So even if the lead grows or shortens, it will move this area accordingly. Okay. And nice little things that we do have is also shortcuts for the adjustments. I don't have a journal in now. You can click on this and it'll take you back to a journal. A feature that is coming later on. We've implemented it, but we're just waiting for a few things to happen in cloud before we bring it out. It's a bit of a dangerous one where you can actually link a journal to a working paper. So if that working paper changes and that amount changes, the journal will update. That's also something that's nice and that's coming. Okay. Amanda, how does one print the biological assets detailed page in portrait and not landscape? I take it it's a very, very big note. Okay, this one has now been locked. I just need to go in, unlock it, now jump in. Okay, if you are dealing with big notes, let's run into live preview here. You can see very small, but as soon as we start adding in, and the same for biological, it will extend, and it will extend, and then we have some magic where we try and reduce the space just to fit in even more. But eventually, an A4 piece of paper is only so big in portrait, and we will move it over. That is because we do the vertical notes. So a feature that's coming out that I mentioned earlier is the ability to change your notes from the vertical to the horizontal, and that you'll be able to do. This isn't in yours right now, it's coming out. That you'll be able to do under details update. You'll be able to switch, layout switch, which will move from vertical to a horizontal note, and then it will be portrait no matter what. Okay. But then you're just limited in terms of all the nice disclosure that you can do. If it is the case where you are still using this type of note and it's only 2 or 3 columns and it's going landscape, then please just jump onto remote support and ask one of our phenomenal consultants just to have a look and assist you, just to see why. It should be doing it automatically, like it's gone back to portrait now, as soon as it fits. Okay, so just check that. Okay. Okay, Andre, so for the relevant notes, I would rather, instead of making the notes on the lead schedules, I'd rather use the electronic note system. Okay, you can address it to them. So for example, I'm addressing it to myself. I've set up as a partner. This will show the note on the working paper, and then that goes to my global overview, which is everything, the entire contents, every single note. And ideally, you just want to click on incomplete notes. So you'll see every working paper with a note, with all the details of why it's been in there, instead of having it on the lead schedules. That's unusual. I'm not sure if anybody else puts all of their final notes and queries on the lead schedules. This might suit a little bit better for the back and forth. Okay. Johan, good one. It has actually gone through to development as a request. Johan asks, can we put some details in the journal entries? So for example, what was the example you used? So let's say correction to debtor, for example. And you would post this to debtors control, let's say trade debtors. It was 100 correction, and the other one was creditors. And you now send this set of journals back to the client, and they go, okay, cool, but which debtor was it for? And now which creditor am I adjusting? So Johan requested a while ago, and I know other people have as well, for the ability to just do a little narration on each journal line, who it's for. That is coming, Johan. It's on the dev list. Okay, Anri, yes. Blue part, you cannot have the option to keep the formulas and formatting. Formatting is coming. It is a low priority item, but that is coming for lead sheets. Is there a way to drill down? Okay, so if you want to, there's a question for how can we drill down to the journal? I take it is a drill down, or do you want to jump back to the journal entry that you've posted? So if you want to see a GL of any of the accounts, very similar in cloud, you can just run a double click on the entry and we'll show you all the movements on that account. So every single journal entry that's going in, do a little nice report for you so you can track the movements. Hendrik, will there be a function to switch between ZA and NAM templates in future? So that's the Namibian framework. Yeah, we just have to finish NAM. I know it was started, and then you'll have a little switch framework. Or when you roll forward, you'll just be able to switch into the NAM templates for Namibia. Are you talking IFRS SME, or are you talking what's the local standard called? So if you want to switch, we have the Namibian localizations done. Just if you are using, I think it was desktop, just give support a shout so they can just have a squiz. If you are running the ZA templates, when you do a year-end close and you now want to move to Namibia, over here, you can select to go into a different template. So on the roll forward, just select, instead of IFRS SME plus ZA for South Africa, you can go into IFRS SME, I can't remember what the code is, plus NA. And then that will roll forward into the Namibian templates. Okay. That's a cool idea, a jump to. Thank you. We'll put that on the to-do list. Anonymous asked if you can have a function where, say that this is a reference, for example, to over here. You want to have a little button that you can click and it'll actually automatically jump to wherever that reference is instead of going and finding that reference. That's a great idea. We'll actually slot it in here, maybe. Formulas jump to. I'm sending that to the developers now. That's a great little idea. This is phenomenal. Thank you, everybody. For those that have joined late, we have gone over all of the, well, majority of the new things that are coming in the next week. But then I've also asked for everybody to give their feedback, give us all requests, all ideas, and we're busy logging it, and we're busy putting it into our roadmap straight away. And there goes that one into the feature request roadmap straight away. Thank you so much, Fernand. we work for comments like that. There is about to be some massive functionality coming with for anybody that's played around with sync on cloud. There is some huge stuff in the works here. I can't talk too much about it now, but you're going to be very surprised when you see that. So I'm very excited to show it. It's a nice complement to Draftworx. It helps Draftworx a lot. There's going to be a lot of nice little functionality that's going to flow through to Draftworx, but on its own, there's going to be some massive functionality increase. When sync eventually comes to desktop, there'll be other niceties that we'll add in due course, like if for instance, I'm sitting in my PP&E note and I'll want to see the movement in my GL. If this client has been linked to sync, and of course then sync is now linked to Pastel Partner or to QuickBooks Desktop or Sage 1 or Xero or QBO or whomever, I have a little button here that we're going to click and you'll see the full GL drop out just in the side view. And you can then go through the TV directly from the accounting system and just drill down to the GL. So you'll be able to see the movements. That for little things like this, I think is massively time saving. So we don't have to go back to the source or ask the client to send us all the information. You can just grab it there and then. And also for audit, I think it's going to be phenomenal for audit. I'm really looking forward to that. So some nice little things coming. Hello, Sally. Okay. We do have revenue in advance and prepaid expenses account, Jeffrey. There is definitely that. Ah, lovely. Okay, can we add more fields on the TB mapping for cloud, for PP&E additional other? Just double check for me, whoever anonymous. We do have several others already, but if there is more needed, then please shout and we'll gladly add in more others. So anonymous is just asking for more other fixed assets, 1, 2, 3. If you want more 4, 5, then 100%. But there are quite a lot already. And also remember, you can use everything as a placeholder. So if you don't have aircraft, all good and well, you can use aircraft still as a link, but you just have to change the disclosure description to now. Well, it's the first thing I saw on my desk, cell phone. So this will automatically change the disclosure for your accounting policy, and also now the disclosure at the top of your note, it won't say aircraft anymore, it will say cell phones. So that's the entire idea behind disclosure description and our links. They are placeholders. You can rename them and use them for anything else. Just make sure they're going to the right place. I can't go to, for example, revenue and tell revenue sale of goods that I actually want it to be for tax. It will still go to revenue. So just keep it in the right section and then use the disclosure description. Everything's just a placeholder. So it makes life easy to update. Thank you, Anuri. I'll have a... What formulas are there that you're adding to the blue cells? Is it linking to anything in the lead, or is it linking directly to the TB, like a sum ifs? Thanks, Jan. I've got the message. I'll just have to go through that in detail. Sage 1 analysis codes aren't in sync, sorry, not yet. That's on the to-do. It's just very big. And that will be added in sync. Okay, perfect. Thanks, Henry. I'll double check that. It's been a while since I've actually worked on the leads. Okay. Any more questions, any more ideas, anything that you want us to add for you, please just pop it through now. Otherwise, we'll probably look to end in the next 5 minutes. As always, everything is built around you. So if something doesn't work, please reach out. It may work. There may just be a different way we do it. So you think it doesn't, or it may just not work and we need to fix it and improve it. On a brief mention about cloud, there is a very big update in the works. It's been something that we've been busy with for a long time by some very, very, very clever people. It's the actual financial statement engine here. So this is getting a massive performance boost and a massive usability boost. And then it should hopefully also take rack nicely. So for everybody that's waiting for audit on cloud, as soon as that engine is stable, it will accommodate the hundreds of thousands of calculations that we do in rack to automate audit for you as much as possible. Then audit will be coming to cloud finally. So we're really looking forward to that. And also just the speed improvements. It's almost as fast as desktop now, and it's sitting in your web browser. So it's really gobsmacking. And then there'll be some other little niceties coming around, some clever refreshes. Right now, if you do a change in the TB, you have to hit the refresh for it to recalculate everything. There's going to be some clever work that we are doing around there. And again, that option just to hide everything or show everything, we'll pop that into. I love that idea. Okay. So this is going to be sped up massively. Daniela, what accounting system are you doing for that monthly simple report? Sync. Oh, I don't want to give it away. There's going to be some automation for monthly reports coming in Sync. So all those little management reports that you want to do and send out to your clients on a monthly basis, that's going to come into Sync. There's some more detail around that. I don't want to give it away. There's a lot of nice little monthly reporting and some nice little reports that are coming into Sync. For those that are currently using Sync in the beta, thank you so much for all your feedback and your testing and pushing the information to and fro Sync. The reports will be coming out sometime soon for you, and then we're looking to take Sync out of beta and opening it up for use for everybody. For those that don't know, majority of Sync will stay free and free always because of the deal that we have with Draftworx. So you covered there. We're looking to do some great stuff. But the main idea between Sync is actually to switch invoices. So you don't need OCR, you don't need to capture invoices automatically. You can add your suppliers and your customers, and then the invoices arrive automatically. Machine learning, pre-mapping, and you actually capture. The system captures and posts your invoices back into your accounting system for you automatically. So without any interaction. Some really great things, but we'll have a separate session about that at a later stage. I want to show you the new reporting system that's coming in. Okay. There are monthly management accounts, or you could use, for example, the SOCI for that and just switch off everything. If, well, you want to keep on cover, maybe index, switch off all of that. You just switch off everything that's unnecessary, and then you can import out of Pastel Partner. Okay, perfect. There's a desktop connector coming from Pastel Partner as well. If you choose to do Sync, you can have a very quick and easy little report like that. Take away all the other stuff that you don't need or don't want. So that is one option, I suppose. Yeah, so you can turn off if you're looking at cloud auto recalc. Or is that desktop? Okay. Do you have an option of basis of cash flow statements? Yes, you most definitely do. In desktop and in cloud, you can switch, as long as it's the plus financials, you can switch between indirect or direct cash flow automatically. Okay. And then that will update your cash flow accordingly. Andre, there will be some costs for Sync for later for some other features that we're bringing out. But what you see now, no cost now. Daniela, if you can pop me an email with kind of what you're doing on Excel, then I can have a look-see and just understand. Then we can maybe just have a quick Zoom, or you can show me on Zoom, and then we can see the best way to achieve that. It should be very quick. Okay, Ian, most definitely. So what we did actually on our website quite a while ago, if anybody needs training for new staff, or if you just want a refresher, if you go to draftworx.com, you can click on training. We'll list all of our latest webinars. So in the introduction webinar this year, the advanced webinar this year, XBRL working papers, etc., etc. You can go to our YouTube channel, which will list everything. We have hundreds of videos covering every major item, rack training, methodology training. It's all here. Everything's pre-recorded from our sessions. So you can go through that. Or if you would like a one-on-one with us, you can book a session and it'll pop up, and this gives access to our diaries. You can have a full demo on cloud, or you can have training introduction, advanced, XBRL, rack, or talk to us if you have an idea. If there's something that you're not happy with and you'd like to chat to me directly, this gives you access to my diary, and you can then go and book 30 minutes with me, or if it needs to be more, you can specify more, and then we can go over whatever you need, and we can table it either as a feature or as a fix. So please, you must use it. It's available to anybody and everybody. I don't care if you're a trainee or a partner. If there's something you need to chat to us about to improve, or you have a great idea, please get in touch. This will be an automatic Microsoft Teams meeting. If you prefer Zoom, or if you just want to make a booking with us, email us and we'll chat with you directly. We do it with I'd say a few thousand of our clients. We have a very open relationship. The emails just flow in and we reply and we answer and we have meetings. But there's a good several other thousand that just, if there's something that they don't like, that they want to suffer in silence, please don't. Please engage with us. Your success is our success, as they say. So please shout. We want to make sure everything is 100%. Striving for this balance of perfection. It's very hard, but it's something that we want to do. Okay. So tons of nice little things coming. Really looking forward to dropping all the features. A lot of them have been outstanding for a while, so thank you for your patience. Here's some massive things coming now. After this next set of updates, we get to work on things that we really want to get out, the fancy things. Automating audit properly and fraud detection, CAT systems, so much. It's all bubbling up. We just want to finalize it and get it out. Okay. I've yabbered on for 2 hours. I hope everybody has gotten out what they wanted to get out. I hope you're excited about the new features. I hope you get in contact with us. If there's anything that you need, please, if you struggle with anything, hit that remote support button. If there's a feature that you want, pop us an email, request a meeting. We'll attend to it. Okay. There's nothing major else. I do see there are a few questions that I just need to delve into, and you'll get an email and we can set up a Zoom thereafter if there's anything to show. And I just need to go and check up on a few things as well. I'm not certain about some of them. So I just want to come back with a proper answer. But thank you for all the questions. Really appreciate everybody's feedback and everybody's time. If you are looking at Cloud now and you haven't looked at it before and you go, oh, that's interesting, you would have gotten an Accountex invite. Tomorrow at 12 o'clock, I'm speaking for about an hour and running through Cloud in a bit more detail. Please register for that. Registration is free, and you can attend a few other sessions as well, free of charge. Looks to be some interesting sessions tomorrow. But come and have a look at Cloud, and we'll go through everything in detail and show you exactly how Cloud works and go through the pricing and the benefits. But yeah, I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their day. Thank you again, and please shout again if you need anything. Take care from all of us at Draftworx. Please be careful out there. Things are getting a bit rough. And it's always a pleasure to deal with every single client. So please get in touch with us. Thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.